there's a game tonight against the Tigers at PNC Park. If anyone's interested, I would imagine that the bulk of the attention for baseball fans everywhere today will be the 6 p.m. trade deadline. Good morning to you. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins, the other two teams in town that I cover. Mitch Keller and David Bednar, probably more the latter, are going to be mentioned all day long. You're going to have to get used to it or just find some way to touch grass, as the cool kids like to say now. Meaning, get away from everything, including this particular program, and don't even pay any attention to anything that you hear, see, or read between now and a little bit after 6. Because here is what I'm hearing that the team is expecting to take place without necessarily forcing it or having anything currently lined up. Rich Hill is going to get traded. That one you can take to the bank. There are several teams that are interested, and why wouldn't they be? Veteran lefty can still do it, showing no health issues so far this season. And his experience includes being part of a contender. So wonderful. He'll get traded somewhere, did his job here, played his role here, and he'll bring a prospect back. It won't be a significant one. Austin Hedges is probably going to get traded. There are enough teams that could use insurance behind the plate and that are lacking defensively behind the plate. And also, let's be real here, he could kind of use a fresh start somewhere else. He became cast unfairly in some ways as a villain. He wasn't the guy who was responsible for handing Austin Hedges a $5 million contract. He wasn't the guy writing Hedges' name in the lineup every day, and he wasn't the one who was keeping not one, but two catching prospects in the minors so that they could save money years from now on Super 2 arbitration stances. But he'll go too, and honestly, I think that'll be it. Meaning I don't see any other fringy players on the roster, and I definitely don't see Ji-Man Choi going, although he'd been a candidate before Carlos Santana was traded. No chance Choi's going to go anywhere. If anything, I would expect the Pirates before long to begin talking to Choi about a contract for next year, maybe more. But Keller and Bednar is a hard no. And I'm not saying that because I wish it to be so. I'm not saying that because there isn't any chance in a normal setting that one or both could be dealt. But this isn't a normal setting. It isn't. Here's what I can tell you. Cherington absolutely, positively, unequivocally does not have a unilateral right to move one or both. He just doesn't. This is a call that would have to be made in unison with Travis Williams and Bob Nutting. And that's not going to come unless they can be convinced that the Pirates are legitimately being floored by somebody. So what ends up happening in turn, since Cherington already knows this, is he's got to put out an ask that is outrageous. And if he wants to trade one or both, and I would never doubt that with him because it's another opportunity to kick the can further down the road, he is going to have somebody say yes to one of these things. There was a report from an American League city yesterday that the Pirates wanted a team's top two prospects, like their top two prospects in their system, there's no, okay? That's not going to happen. For a starter who, while Mitch was an all-star, is coming off a rough month, and for a closer, when closers really are more replaceable than most people seem to realize. Top 2 prospects, that's something you give up like in the Juan Soto trade. You know, you don't do that with this. So they're out there. Their names are out there. They're not going anywhere. Because if they go somewhere, the hard question that has to be answered by the people at the very top of this operation, not Charrington, because he wouldn't mind answering at all because he never apologizes for endless losing, is when? So this isn't it? Really? You're going to let go an inexpensive starter who's going to be here for years, and you're going to deal him for prospects? So now we got to wait for those guys to be the next cavalry to come up? And you're not going to do it with Bednar either, even though, again, Bednar could be more easily replaced. You're just not going to see that. Now, how and why should we trust that Nutting/Williams will do the right thing? I don't know that it's a matter of doing the right thing. I think it's much more a matter of not wanting to just constantly be demonized. Remember that when the two of them, individually or together, are talking to people, they're saying a lot of the same stuff that fans are saying. Not in a critical sense, but more toward the 2024 being the thing. Well, you're not going to move Keller or Bednar, much less both, for prospects who can help you in 2024. You're just not. It's a kick of the can. And in particular, with this team having fallen off the way it has this year, fallen off is a generous term for it, you've just lost the right. As the GM, you've lost the right to do whatever you want into infinity. That's where this is. Hill will go, Hedges will go, everyone else is staying. When we come back, J1Q. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern. That's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park.
Your front door, your car, your bike, your computer, your gun. Safety is a habit. Every day you lock and secure your home and everything you want to keep safe. Gun safety and responsible storage are no different and the best way to help prevent accidents, misuse, and theft. If you have a firearm, own it, respect it, and secure it. Visit ProjectChildSafe.org. Brought to you by the National Shooting Sports Foundation and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Today's J1Q comes from Robert, who asks, and this is via our YouTube comment section, "You really don't like the Pirates, do you? I must conclude that you'd find fault even if they were in a positive mix." Robert, I've been doing this a long time. I've been covering this team professionally as a journalist since 2004. As a reporter, you're never in a position to like or dislike your coverage matter. You're just not. That's just not how it works. If I'm covering a political candidate, I'm not permitted to like or dislike the candidate. If I'm writing columns or expressing commentary on multimedia, I can criticize the candidate. I can praise the candidate for something that they do, but like and dislike doesn't enter into it. So I'm going to start there. Next, I'm going to tell you that I'm a lifelong Pittsburgher, born and raised right downtown, still right downtown. I've been following the Pirates intensely since I was exactly 6 years old. Not long after that, I wanted to grow up to be Rennie Stennett, who was the second baseman of those teams in the 1970s, if you happen to go way back. What you, and in fairness, a couple other people that I heard from yesterday reacted to was that the Pirates had a couple of nice wins over the weekend. And you were kind enough, and I appreciate it, to press play on Daily Shot of Pirates yesterday, and you heard me criticizing the team for its overall utter collapse since the end of April and backing it up with numbers, and then explaining why the coming 2 months should be considered critical for Derek Shelton, for his staff, and for a lot of the development and instructional people throughout the system. That is a fair criticism to levy in light of everything that's gone wrong. My timing for it is immaterial. The fact that I put out my first show of the week on Monday morning, and my goodness, they had 2 wonderful wins just before that. Why are you such a buzzkill? Doesn't matter to me at all. But to ask if I, dislike the Pirates or whatever, the number one conclusion that I can reach about you, and I feel pretty safe in doing so, is that you're new to my stuff. And in that case, all I have to say back to you is thank you. Thank you for coming in and listening. I hope you also have a chance to check out my written content at DK Pittsburgh Sports. Hope you have a chance to engage further, and you'll find out over the course of time, I trust, that the coverage that I offer is fair. It certainly comes with a fair attempt at being fair. I appreciate the question. I appreciate the outreach. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates, and we're going to do another one of these tomorrow.